This is the Fearless Finance Podcast with Amy Ross. Amy and the team at Gold Shield Wealth are dedicated to helping adults plan for and manage the hurdles they may face on their journey to retirement. Get more, including contact information in the show notes. Now, Fearless Finance with financial advisor Amy Ross.
My name is Mark Owens. Amy, how is this week treating you?
Been great. The weather again. I think I always talk about the weather, but I love summer, and this just makes me happy. So, I'm getting new mulch around my house soon. Mm-hmm. I told Andrew to pick up some ferns for the front porch. Everything's blooming. It's great.
We've got to get some brick pavers that lead down to the backyard and to the pool. We got to get those redone. And I called a landscape design company and going to have them get a little work done. And my wife looks at me and she goes, "Well, can't you do that yourself?" And I was very honest with her, and I said, "Honey,
can and want to are two totally different things, and that's some back-breaking work right there."
Would I like to have the knowledge of putting these pavers back together where they look right and they're not wobbly? Yes, I would love to be able to do that, but I'm also a realist, and I also understand that the opportunity for me to get this done right is slim to none. So
you'll end up doing it, breaking your back, spending a lot of money, and then having to pay somebody to come in and fix your mess up, because that's how I've done it in the past. So now I just pay people to come and do it right away.
Thank you. And I think
I'm with you, Mark. I'm totally with you.
But I think that also leads to what you do for the community as well, Amy, because a lot of people think in that DIY method of putting retirement strategies together. Oh, I can just do it myself. Oh, I can just do a little research online and put it all together. So I want to start this week here on Fearless Finance, all powered by Gold Shield Wealth. Amy, what can you do? What can you do for me, for the adult getting close to retirement that just has questions of what now, what next?
Yeah, so what I can do for you is make sure that your income needs are met, not just what you think, but, look at protecting it against inflation, healthcare needs, long-term care needs. I can look at making sure that your money is in places that when we take it out, it's going to be tax efficient. That knowledge is just not general knowledge that most people possess. Legacy planning, I love to do that. What are we trying to leave for the ones that are on the earth after we leave it? Mm-hmm. I address all of those things, so I can give you a solid plan so you can walk into retirement feeling informed and empowered, because information makes us feel empowered, and a plan sure does too. So that's my goal for everyone.
Yeah, how often do you find that somebody comes to you and they say, Amy, I finally understand that I don't know what I don't know. And I've sat down with you and we've had this conversation. Man, I wish I would have called you a year ago, a year and a half, 2 years ago.
I get that. But you know what? We can't cry over spilled milk, and we can't undo the past. I'm sitting here right now. Would love to help anyone who gives me a call.
So we talk about it. It's the full body scan of your retirement plan. That's basically what we call the opportunity to sit down with Amy and the team at Gold Shield Wealth and take a deep dive into your portfolio. A two-part question for you here, Amy. How did you come up with the name Full Body Scan of Your Retirement Plan? And again, what does that involve?
I just say things sometimes. My family laughs at me, and my staff and my clients too. I just come up with these weird nicknames. And, I spent almost 2 decades looking at CT scans of patients, of people's bodies, and it showed everything. And so it just slipped out one day. I was like, I need to do a full body scan of your investments. And I was like, I kind of like that. It makes sense. I mean, I can see everything, because that's really what you have to see is everything, the fees, the tax status, where it's sitting, how to use it wisely. So that's just how it happened. I said it one day and it stuck.
So it's a full body scan of your retirement plan. Take a deep dive into the main pillars that Amy works on every single week. We're talking about income every week, every day. Income. We're talking taxes. We're talking about risk, and especially long-term care, because, Amy, you've been there. You've worked in the healthcare world. You know the importance of long-term care, of what you're going to need medically moving forward to and through retirement.
Yeah, unfortunately, the general knowledge that people have is they underestimate exactly how much that is going to cost. And, I've had a behind-the-scenes viewpoint of it to where I try to truly be real with my clients and let them know what they are facing. It's expensive, and it doesn't get any cheaper.
So somebody who's been there, what's the phrase? You walk the walk and you talk the talk, or talk the
Yeah, I
talk?
guess. Yeah. I mean, I've been down that road. I did years of sending bills over to insurance companies to see how prices were increasing for the same radiation treatment, So yeah, it's rough.
And you have a very special event coming up, a big female retirement event coming up at Gold Shield Wealth. You said you would have about 60 will be attending?
Yeah, well, here's the thing. I am a more the merrier.
Right.
So what I wanted to do, one thing that I've been looking forward to doing this for 5 years. This has been in my head. I wanted to create a safe environment for females in the same phase of life to come and meet each other. Because I know as a woman, and I'm an extrovert, it's hard to go into an already formed group of women because they already know each other. And so what I'm trying to create here for the women is a special day to thank them for their support and their trust in me, and to give them an opportunity to socialize and have some fun. So I have my personal hairdresser coming to put tinsel in their hair. We're going to have wine, champagne. Carolina Roadhouse is catering and food. Everybody will leave with a gift. However, there are some very special gifts picked out by me that I'll be just randomly giving away. But more so, it's just a day to say thank you to the ladies. Now, for all you men listening, I do special things for the men too, but the women get to go. They get their day in May because it's Mother's Day. So I chose to declare one day in May is going to be Women's Day at Gold Shield Wealth every year.
I love that. And you're talking about some of the great elements of this event that you put together. And you sent me a link to a song that you created online. And
I did.
AI song just for this great women's only event. I want people to hear a clip of this.
Ladies, you are love. Ladies, you are seen. Ladies, you are gold in the shining team. Ladies, you are love. We say it out loud. Gold Shield Wealth today, and we sing it loud.
My
Isn't it cute?
goodness, you're going to be having that playing in the background throughout the day. That is fantastic, Amy.
Yeah, I discovered this app while watching the news, and I decided to try it myself. I was just sitting there playing around with it, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I can write a song and put my words, and they'll make it into music and make it make sense. And I almost cried when I listened to it. I was just dancing around the house. Andrew's like, can you stop playing that, please?
I love this.
Andrew brought it homemade for the joy we make. Ladies, you are love. Ladies, you are seen. Ladies, you are gold in the shining team. Ladies, you are love. We say it out loud. Gold Shield Wealth today, and we sing it proud.
Fantastic, Amy Ross. Well done.
Maybe I'll use, if I'm in my spare time, I think I might just start creating songs with AI because it's a lot of fun.
little side hustle for you. By the way, I've got a birthday
Yeah.
coming up next month. If you want to create me a
Oh, I'm
birthday
going to
song-
make you a song.
Oh,
I
here-
will.
here we go.
That's my thing now. I'm going to start making songs for people.
So for this specific event, we are filled up. It's locked up. It's booked up, which is a great thing. But there will be more. And it's not just that, Amy. I know you host educational workshops throughout the community almost weekly, sometimes couple times a week. And if we want to get more information and join you for one of these great events, how do we get more?
Yeah, they can call my office at 843-585-5223, and my staff can let them know when the next available events are. I do try to scatter them from the north end of town to the south end of town to make it convenient for everyone. But yeah, I would love to have you guys come listen, and you'll learn a lot.
These are complimentary educational workshops.
They sure are. They're on me.
I want to spend a couple of minutes here talking about, we were talking about like what can you do for the families you serve across Myrtle Beach. And we got a sample size of adults who are getting close to retirement, or maybe they are retired or just looking for help. And we found that a lot of adults that are calling, they had the attitude of, I've got the money, but Amy, I just never want to retire. I never officially want to shut it down. Why do you think that is? Is it because they're worried about the economy, they're worried about income in retirement, or do you find that a lot of people just love working?
You know, that's a funny question, really. I believe a lot of the times it's they don't want to stop working. Mm-hmm. You know, I have quite a few people that are college professors, and, you know, like they have those brains that is their fun. thinking is fun. So I think a lot of times people just aren't ready for it. I think it's fear of the unknown. What am I going to do with my time? I play a little game with my seminar attendees and ask, what are the top things that retirees want to do? And I think number 3 is pursue hobbies. However, do you know what? I take a poll in the room sometimes. Most people don't even know what their hobbies are because you've spent 40 years working. You weren't able to nurture your hobbies. So a lot of times I think it's fear of you have to figure out who you are as a retiree. So work is easier. It's the devil you know.
Do you find that there are people that are in love with what they do and they say
that's their identity. That's who they are. So they don't know what they even like to do for fun.
Because I'm one of those guys, I don't think I'm ever going to officially shut it down. I mean, I love working. I'm always going to have to be, and maybe it's
I'm
just
the same way. Like this is fun for me.
Yeah.
Like that's why it's hard. A lot of times Andrew has to rein me in from working too much because it's actual fun. So I get it when I have the retirees that sit down with me and they're like, Amy, I've got millions. Mm-hmm. It's not that I'm worried about losing, that I don't have enough money. It's not that. It's I enjoy working. And, I encourage that because retirement, it's yours. It's what you want it to be. And if working is fun, I do always encourage, though, don't do a job that you're miserable doing because it'll wear you down on your health and everything else and your quality of life.
Yeah, Amy wants to build that plan. So if you want to shut it down earlier than you anticipated, or maybe you never officially want to stop working, what plan is going to work out best for you?
You know what, Mark? I want to interject. I
100%.
actually just had a meeting with someone, and we're putting a plan in place because her intention is to work until she's 70. However, she wants the option to maybe change her mind. She's 66 right now. So that's kind of where I go with that because sometimes your mind can change. When you don't have to work, the one thing can happen and you're like, nah, I'm done.
Yeah.
Now's my time.
Yeah.
So I would say if you're one of those overachievers that think you're going to work till you're 70 or 75 or whatever, have a plan B in place just in case you change your mind or your body changes its mind for you.
And you've seen it. That's a lane you were in for a long time.
Yes.
Another sample we got from adults getting close to retirement is that we've said it here before. I think we said it a couple of minutes ago, that red zone of retirement. Those adults that are maybe about 5 years out of officially retiring, maybe a couple of years into retirement. But now we're starting to hear from more people that aren't 5 years from retirement. They're starting to plan 8, 10, 12 years away from officially retiring. Why do you think that red zone is getting backed up so much?
I think it's different reasons. Number one, I feel like that as a culture in the country, people are becoming more in tune with their feelings, for better or for worse. Mm-hmm. And I think that maybe there's more of a push for enjoy your life, quality of life, retire while you still feel like it type mentality. And I get that, that kind of goes through my mind at times too, with my retirement, like enjoy it while your body will allow you to.
Yeah.
I think there's that. And I think also there's more active planning going on because there's more information readily available to people. I mean, the baby boomers didn't have the internet at their fingertips to sit there and on their couch at night and learn about Roth conversions and learn about how to save and all these resources. So I think those are the two bigger things. It's just the shift in the mindset and then also knowledge. Yeah. Knowledge is power.
But there's a lot of misinformation out there as well.
So much misinformation. I'm a member of a practice management group. It's basically a meeting of the minds. And we were laughing the other day because, AI, everybody's like, oh, just put it in AI and AI will interpret it for you. Well, it will. Depending on how you put it in there, it can interpret it 10 different ways. You have to sometimes nail that AI down and keep asking clarifying questions to get to what the accurate answer is. So if you don't know what the real answer is, you could get a wrong answer and think it's a real answer. Mm-hmm. So I always suggest, it's not bad to look at things just to open up your mind and learn something. But I totally advise sitting down with a real human being who is licensed and trained and stays on top of things and laws and regulations, because the internet's not always correct.
Yeah.
We know this.
Yeah. And I think we're hearing a lot more conversations about AI and the power of AI, and it's not all bad. There's a lot of good things. I mean, we just played a song.
It creates amazing music.
Exactly. Just a couple of seconds. I'm always using it to create pictures where I'm skinny and have hair. But for situations like this, I remember not too long ago, it was like a week ago, I was like, hey, what was that final score of the Braves game last night? And I know they had won, but I just did a quick chat GPT. What was the final score? And not only did they have the score wrong, they said that the Braves have lost. But I was like, no. I know for a fact. And last night, and they had the right date.
Yeah,
the
but
Braves
see,
fell.
you knew what the correct answer was. Had you not known what the correct answer was, you'd been sad, wouldn't
Yeah,
you?
exactly. I was like, but wait a minute. So that's why we say it a lot here. If you hear something, if you see something, if you read something, trust and verify. That's why we always invite you to reach out to Amy Ross and the team at Gold Shield Wealth, because there's a lot of misinformation out there. And we've said it, I think we said it last week, that the finfluencers are really starting to take hold across some of these social media sites, especially like TikTok and Instagram, where they want to offer financial information. But they're not.
Yes.
They're not licensed. They're not accredited.
No.
They may be
be
just
so
reading something.
careful.
Do you hear from people that say, "Well, I saw online this. I follow this channel, and this person said this," or "I followed this."
On occasion, but again, I work mainly, with the baby boomers,
Right.
and so they're not really, they're not as on board with AI and all that as the younger generation is. So,
Yeah, but it's funny you bring that up. Technology as well. My mom, God love her, she was trying to open up a QR code, and it's not like my mom's that. I mean, she's in her late 70s, still drives, she's still active in the community, still hangs out with her friends, but just getting her to try to open a QR code with her phone. It really was. It was like brain surgery, and to the point where
let me tell you, I just got my dad to start using the GPS on his phone like 2 years ago. No joke. He would get lost and call me and ask me what turns to make. And I'm like, Dad, put it in your phone. When he finally started doing that, I could have cried. I was so happy.
I think it was just right after COVID that my mom finally stopped printing out MapQuest directions.
But that,
So
makes sense.
when it comes to technology and information out there, there's nothing wrong with asking the questions. Amy, I saw this. Amy, I read this. What's your take on this? She is here to support the community. GoldShieldWealth.com or 843-585-5223. All right. So as we're talking about, what's on the mind of the families that you serve, we do find that there are a lot of small business owners always looking for tax strategies. You do a lot of work with the small businesses across Myrtle Beach.
Yeah, I do, because as a small business owner myself, I get it. I'm there. So I'm able to use the tools I use for myself a lot of ways to help the other small business owners around Myrtle.
Yeah, so if you are one of the small business owners and you're just looking for some strategies and what may be working, may not be working, don't be afraid to reach out to Amy and the team at Gold Shield Wealth, 843-585-5223. Again, goldshieldwealth.com. All right, so kind of sad news coming from the world of entertainment and media. How about Ted Turner? Ted Turner passing away a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, that is really sad.
At the age of 87.
He did a lot in his lifetime, didn't he?
For a lot of people, they said, I remember him from CNN, or I remember him from his days of TNT and TBS. But for me, as a baseball fan, I'll never forget what he did for the Atlanta Braves in the 90s, especially leading up to...
Probably hit you different, didn't it, with that connection to the Braves?
Yes, ma'am.
I didn't even think about that, Mark.
As we continue to remember the great Ted Turner, I want you to hear this clip because he launched CNN back in 1980. But 23 years later, after the Time Warner merger, he was effectively fired. And he talks about getting fired.
I got phased out. The management at Time Warner called me in and said, your contract's going to be up, and we want to give you another one. I said, well, tell me. They said, well, we'll give you $1 million a year. And I said, well, what will my duties be? And they said, nothing. Really? At least they were honest. So I said, you can take the $1 million and shove it where.
So he effectively didn't take the money and said, you can fire me. I want to talk to the adults right now, and it happens, and I know you've seen it, those that unfortunately get fired before retired. How do you create the strategies to protect a plan, to preserve a plan, to make sure we have the income to and through retirement when we have to shut it down earlier than we had planned?
Yeah, that happens. Truly, that's where the insurance space comes into play a lot of times, very handily. That's where an income stream from an annuity will meet that need more times than not, when you have to shift gears really, really quickly. Mm-hmm. That's my first pivot, is how do we have a loss of income, a rapid loss of income immediately. So how do we replenish that to at least meet the needs of our paycheck bucket?
Right.
What that paycheck was covering. It's never fun when that happens. You never, it really does. It's terrible. It breaks my heart for people. I'm actually working with someone right now who that's happening to. She sees the writing on the wall. They're trying to cut the fat. And so we're working on that right now. And I'm actually using a fixed index annuity with an income stream on it because I'm able to get her payout on her money every single year, even if she lives to be 120. And so that was my first pivot, was that.
Tell me about that a little bit more, Amy, about the power of an annuity. What is the first move they should make? How do you help us create and set up an annuity?
Well, the first move you should make is look and see how much income are you going to need to replace truly if that happens, when that day happens. And then look and see how much of your money you would need to go ahead. And if you're over 59 and a half, generally you can do an in-service withdrawal over into an annuity and go ahead and get that there so that income stream is ready for you when the day comes, when D-Day hits.
Right.
Or otherwise, there's other ways to create income as well. It doesn't have to be an annuity. But if you see that something might go sideways fairly soon for me, the sooner the better, make an appointment with me and we'll look at what you have. We'll look at all the resources. We have to collect all the puzzle pieces that you've probably scattered around for all those years of your life, collect them all together, and then see, okay, how much income do we need to replace? But then also do a strategy that we're not just replacing today's income. We want to make sure that we put it in places to where we can cover inflation and all that for later on down those years too.
Yes, there are a lot of layers to an annuity, but it can be that opportunity for a guaranteed income in retirement at its most simplistic form. Is that fair to say?
Absolutely. They have their place. If someone actually does an actual plan and looks to see where things actually fit, you should never just buy an annuity to be buying an annuity. That's where people make the mistake. But yeah, if you put those in there to supplement that income, that's a lifetime income. That gives you peace of mind. I always say that's how we sleep at night. If worst case scenario, we know we can buy our groceries and pay our electric bill and those little things that you really just don't think about, flipping that light switch on, but it costs money.
Yeah.
We want to make sure that's covered. And that's that security that I feel gives retirees confidence to actually spend their money too in retirement.
843-585-5223. Amy Ross, always thinking about your income in retirement, always thinking about your investments, always thinking about taxes, and always thinking about healthcare, long-term care, because she's been there. She understands that world. That's why she offers that full body scan of your retirement plan. It's no cost, no obligation to you. And before we hit pause, speaking of health, I want you to hear this clip from the great Dolly Parton. Now, unfortunately, she had to cancel a couple of her upcoming events because she's battling some health issues, but she's still just as perky as ever. And Amy, she wants to get back out on that stage.
Now, the bad news is it's going to take me a little while before I'm up to stage performance level because some of the meds and treatments make me a little bit swimmy-headed. And, of course, I can't be dizzy carrying around banjos, guitars, and such on 5-inch heels. Not to mention all those heavy rhinestone outfits, the big hair, my big personality. That would make anybody swim-headed. But just think of me as like an old classic car that once restored can be better than ever.
I love her.
Golly.
I just love Dolly.
They're big.
I'm going to go home and put my Dolly sweatshirt on after that.
Personality. Give us one more reminder, Amy, the importance of healthcare and long-term care, putting that a part of your plan.
It's just something that's missed. Everybody thinks that they'll be, it'll never come, but it does. Our bodies are not meant to last forever. And when things do go sideways, it is not inexpensive by any stretch of the imagination. So to me, that is one thing that is a non-negotiable that we look at and make sure, how are we going to pay for this? Because it's better to do it beforehand than be caught with your pants down.
That's right. Amen. And that all begins, and that is
maybe literally if you're in long-term care.
When it comes to healthcare, there's a real chance that may happen too. It will not happen at the offices of Gold Shield Wealth. I don't make any promises or guarantees, but I can pretty much assure you.
I don't know, Mark. You don't know what goes on behind doors, though.
I haven't seen some of these client parties.
We don't do that. Fully clothed always here.
GoldShieldWealth.com, but she does want to strip down your portfolio. Take a deep dive to see what's working and see what adjustments need to be made. And again, this weekend, that full body scan of your retirement plan, no cost, no obligation. We invite you to reach out. 843-585-5223. Again, 843-585-5223.
Insurance products are offered through the insurance business Gold Shield Wealth Financial. Gold Shield Wealth is an investment advisory practice that offers products and services through Impact Partnership Wealth, LLC, IPW, a registered investment advisor. IPW does not offer insurance products. The insurance products offered by Gold Shield Wealth Financial are not subject to investment advisor requirements. Gold Shield Wealth Financial and IPW are not affiliated companies. Investing involves risk, including the potential loss of principal. Any references to protection, safety, or lifetime income generally refer to fixed insurance products, never securities or investments. Insurance guarantees are backed by the financial strength and claims-paying abilities of the issuing carrier. This radio show is intended for informational purposes only. It is not intended to be used as the sole basis for financial decisions, nor should it be construed as advice designed to meet the particular needs of an individual situation. Gold Shield Wealth is not permitted to offer, and no statement made during the show shall constitute tax or legal advice. Our firm is not affiliated with or endorsed by the U.S. government or any governmental agency. The information and opinions contained herein provided by third parties have been obtained from sources believed to be reliable, but accuracy and completeness cannot be guaranteed by Gold Shield Wealth. This radio show is a paid placement. Any and all services related to Medicare are an outside business activity and are not offered through or supervised by Impact Partnership Wealth, IPW, LLC. Gold Shield Wealth has a strategic partnership with tax professionals and attorneys who can provide tax and or legal advice.